The views, information, and opinions expressed during the following program are solely those of the individuals involved and do not necessarily represent the views of Access Communications, its representatives, or its employees.
Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the regular council meeting of April the 7th, 2026. We'll call it to order. Up first, motion to adopt the agenda as presented. Councillor Dubowski, seconded by Councillor Mouse. Questions, comments? Seeing none, all in favor? Carried. Up next, motion to approve the minutes of March 23rd, 2026. Councillor Johnson. Second by Councillor Elliott. Questions, comments? Seeing none, all in favor? Carried. Original communications, delegations, and petition. Up first, the Estevan Exhibition Association, June 11th, 14th, 2026, Egg Pavilion request. Come on up to the mic, turn the mic on, and we have the letter that you provided us, so the floor is yours.
Thank you, everyone, for seeing us tonight. My name is Crystal Ross from the Exhibition Association. I currently reside as president, and beside me is Krista Kurtz, our second vice president.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. And
we had sent out a letter of requesting sponsorship and use of the curling rink to share the costs of the $5,000 rent. I'm assuming GST would be on top of that. The Egg Pavilion has grown substantially since we started it in 2022, and I'm going to let Krista go into a little bit more detail as what the Egg Pavilion is.
So our Egg Pavilion is what we use to showcase agriculture basically in Saskatchewan to our students and our city population and everybody who comes to visit during the fair. So we have two special days prior to the fair. We have Thursday, June 11th is our safety day. And then Friday, June 12th is our school tour day. So the kids kind of get a chance to come in and do a little sneak peek of what's offered during the Ag Pavilion, what's offered during the fair in the Ag Pavilion. So on the safety day, we have our goal this year is 250 students in the morning and 250 students in the afternoon to come through, grades 3, 4, and 5 from our local communities. We've invited everybody in Estevan, all the schools in Estevan, and all of our surrounding communities, all the way out to Alameda, to Maccoon, to Lampman, to Beanfate, and beyond. And so on the safety day, they'll be learning about agriculture safety, train safety, bike safety, auger safety, chemical safety, and more. Then Friday, June 12th is our school tours, and this is where we encourage grades 1 to 6 to come through. They come in the morning again, and the afternoon. We're hoping for another 500 students. That's our overall goal. Last year we didn't quite meet those numbers, but the feedback we got was quite amazing. So we partner with groups such as Ag in the Classroom, SASSI, which is Saskatchewan Agricultural Associations, Societies and Exhibitions, excuse me, Saskatchewan Cattle Association, Egg Producers of Saskatchewan, Sass Dairy, Estevan Fire and Rescue, the Canadian Cattle Association, Redhead, Richardson Pioneer, and the Southern Plain Co-op. They were all participants, exhibitors, and sponsors last year. Basically what we did is we started this project in mind of teaching children where their food comes from. And we soon learned that this project was larger than just teaching children. We now have an audience that covers all ages, old and young alike. And it isn't just for our local families that have enjoyed the exhibits and learning about agriculture, but also for our new Canadians. They get to see a brief picture of Canadian agriculture. We've also went ahead and pulled out of the curriculum outcomes for each of the grade levels, and we've sent those out to all of the schools. I'm actually a teacher here in Estevan, and I went through the curriculums and pulled those out and was able to provide them to the teachers too, so that they could see what kind of areas could be covered in their classes when they come to attend.
Excellent.
Go ahead.
Do you guys have any questions regarding that? I know there's...
Councillor Johnson.
Yeah, Mayor Cernick, I have a few, if you would let me try to address these two ladies. You've basically answered a few of my questions regarding what is the Ag Pavilion and what it's all about. I'm kind of familiar with, I was mentioning to the one I've been through, maybe it's not a pavilion, but the one in Minot when they have their fair days, it's got a whole bunch of chickens and bunnies and all kinds of products that they've grown in their gardens and things like that. And I wasn't sure what to expect from a ag pavilion in Estevan, but obviously it's very popular. It's gaining in momentum. So what the event is all about is just basically having students come in and also the public come in, and you kind of show off basically everything that's going on in the RM and around the community, what's grown and how the food is harvested and things like that. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Is there an admission at the gate to enter the pavilion? Do you charge to get in?
The gate, yes, there is admission at the gate, but once they're on site, they
Yeah.
can enjoy the Ag Pavilion for free. There's no additional
Okay.
cost to that.
And the 2 school tour days are free.
Okay, so it's open free to
Yes.
the students. You've come to the city of Estevan, okay, for a $5,000 donation for the Estevan curling rink. And you mentioned some other businesses there that you've talked about that are either partners or vendors that are displaying their wares. Have you approached those organizations for funding too?
Yes, we are in the works of doing that. We had partnered with Redhead last year. They brought in a bunch of huge equipment that the kids just loved.
Okay.
And we set them up east of the Wiley. Kids
Right.
got to sit in the combines and things like that. Things that they don't just see in the fields working, they actually pay attention to it. So
It was quite amazing to see the kids stand there in front of them and go, I have one of these at home, but it's only this big.
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
Okay.
And Richardson Pioneer stepped up and supported us. We do not have confirmation for 2026 as to these 2 partners yet. We're still planning and lots of things are underway. And Sassy is a huge, they call it a venture project. They give a little, but not a substantial amount. And the goal with the Ag Pavilion is not to make it a revenue center for the Energy City X. The goal is just to pass on awareness education for agriculture and the importance of where our food comes from. And there's an actual dairy cow standing in there. She's a statue, but they can milk her and feed her. And it's just, she's pretty neat.
Okay.
She's pretty neat.
Okay, so that was another one of my questions. Is there going to be any cleanup after in the facility regarding animals? Or
It would be awesome to be able to line the wall with bunnies and chickens and cows, but this year there are no plans to have any animals in there. Last year we had the animals set up east of the Wiley.
Okay.
And 2 years ago, not last summer, but we did have the bunnies. We've tried to get goats and sheep. June is a really tough year or time of year for farmers to bring their livestock. So they won't be in, but they will be out. And yes, the cleanup, you won't know.
Okay.
You won't know they were there.
Okay. Getting back to my last question then would be other organizations that are maybe going to help kick in some funding to this event that you're hosting. I know you come to the city of Estevan asking for a $5,000 grant, basically, and we would become a partnership if that was decided here this evening. And you would put some banners up or something like that, sponsored by the city of Estevan, because that's typically what happens if we are going to be into a handshake deal here tonight with sponsorship. So is that something else that you do?
Absolutely. We are always very good about recognizing with those banners, like you said, and on social media. Some things have come to light. Years ago, the Civic Auditorium was used by the Exhibition Association for years as a beer gardens, and there was a trade show in there during the fair one year.
Yep.
And we're going back into history, but there was an ongoing relationship. And we didn't actually pay for use of the Civic other than the utilities and making sure that that building was spotless when we left. And was kind of hoping for the same type of agreement going forward with the curling rink, covering, the cost to keep the lights on and things like that, and minimizing the use of that space, not letting anybody into the lobby or upstairs or even in the bathrooms, and requesting that everything get locked up as much as we possibly can to lock it up. Because we don't have, just like every other association, we don't have volunteer base anymore that we used to 10 years ago. So we want to limit their access, that they would come in the back door with the big overhead, because we have a big barn door. I don't know if you said you weren't at the Ag Pavilion, but we had a big barn door built so that when they walk through the barn door, they are actually entering the Ag Pavilion.
Okay.
And that would get erected on the big door at the back or the side door, whichever way that we can make it aesthetically pleasing and inviting for everybody to come into there.
Okay, so tonight you're asking for $5,000 for...
As per the sponsorship letter.
For the sponsorship,
yes.
and then we do have a certain dollar value for those 4 days that we would rent out the Estevan curling rink.
Yes.
Are you aware of that cost?
I was quoted $5,000 from,
Oh, you were?
I believe it was Aaron that sent that to me. Yeah.
Okay, because I think our dollar value is,
The value was 6,240.
That's right.
Oh, was it 6240?
yeah, so you're a little shy there, so that's why I'm asking, do you have other partners that are gonna
Yes, we have other partners that would kick in.
kick in?
Yeah.
So-
One thing that I need to add to that too, though, some of the funding that we do raise, we will bus kids that maybe don't have the means to get themselves to the school days.
Yeah, we have provided busing for schools in the past, and we hope to continue to do that.
So we
Some
need them-
schools do walk, and some do have funds that they can provide for themselves. But if a school if that's the prohibiting kind of motion or decision, then we like to step in and we'd like to help with that too.
Yeah, and we send them with a goodie bag and a snack, just everything to make it a positive experience, that they remember it and they want to come back.
Okay, well, that's all my questions, and thank you for coming to City Council this evening, and I can turn it over to the rest of council if you have any questions there.
Councillor Verba.
Thank you, Your Worship. Thank you, ladies, for coming. I'm actually the council rep on the Exhibition Association, and I can appreciate all of the hard work and the volunteers that go into creating the Energy City X. So I see it firsthand. I was also on from 2016 to 2020, and I'm happy to be back. I also think that going forward, we should look at that partnership as well, but that's for a bigger discussion on a different night. So tonight, I would like to make a motion that we proceed with allowing you guys to use the, as your request for the 4 days at no charge. So not do an actual dollar value of $5,000, but then if you were to use anything like drapes or the stage or the podium, then we would charge for that. But if you're just using the building, then I would like to make the motion that we give it to them for the 4 days and at no charge.
Do we have a seconder? Councillor Mouse, questions, comments? Councillor Laser.
Thank you, Your Worship. For the first 2 years, what facility did you use for the Ag Pavilion?
We were in the Wiley Mitchell.
How does the size compare for the number of people and the events that you'll be able to host inside?
Well, we don't have exact dimensions of the curling rink yet, but we know the space is a little bit larger, substantially larger, I think. And we are growing, and we were tight in the Wiley. And when you get all the school kids tearing around it, having a little spaces.
Yeah, we kind of have groups of 25 is our largest. We've asked for them to stay between 20 and 25 if we can. And so even if a class comes with 30, then we have to split them up. And it was tight last year.
It was fun.
With everybody.
It was tight, yes. So we need to make it bigger, and we want to change even where people come in at the gate so that it draws more attention to that area. So, yes.
And the curling rink is double the size of the Willie.
Is it double?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that's,
Capacity and people-wise anyway, so.
yeah.
Any other questions? Just one question. Has the Exhibition Society, you haven't used the curling rink since the Civic's been gone?
Yeah, no, yes, maybe? Oh,
Like,
goodness.
Last year, last couple
Oh,
of years? we haven't
Mr.
used it?
Mayor, you're making me go back. But we did have cabarets in there at one time.
thought
Lots
I
of
was in there
cabarets were
last
held in
year.
the curling rink.
Okay.
But we have not used it, I don't think, since the Civic left. But in 2020, Diane Wenham and I had agreement that
Okay.
the Ag Pavilion would go there
Okay.
based on the past agreement. However, COVID shut that down, and the Ag Pavilion didn't get going again until 2022. And we didn't know what it was going to look like, so
Okay.
we have a similar agreement with the Wiley. It's just the space is too small.
Okay. Any other questions, comments out there? Councillor Elliott?
Thank you, Your Worship. I guess for myself, we've had a number of groups asking for free use of facilities, and we've been saying no a lot. For myself, I would be a no for the whole thing, but I would happily vote in favor of giving you the 2 educational days for free. Those would be the ones that I would be in favor of. But to give it all free, I'm Scottish. Sorry.
Okay.
So that would make, if it was 6240, you split that between the 4 days?
Right now, we have a
Just-
motion on the
Any
floor.
other questions, comments out there? Seeing none, all in favor? Just Councillor Elliott opposed?
Just me.
Well, thank you. We'll get you through this year, but we'll definitely be in touch to get that agreement all updated and everything for next year for sure, but have a great pavilion.
Thank you so much.
I will request some signage if you guys already have some.
You can have this thing.
Well, I was just looking at that. That would be great with, the little cows in the background and the pictures. And but yes, we will be in touch for some kind of, and if you don't have it, we are willing to get it made. It's just,
Excellent.
what does it look like? So
Thank you for coming
thank
in
you for your
tonight.
time.
Thank you.
All right, up next, Sewers Valley Museum minutes from March 2025. Do you have a motion to approve these? Councillor Dubowski, seconded by Councillor Mouse. Questions, comments? Seeing none, all in favor? Carried. Executive reports, Water Services Manager. I see, 4 in a row here, so might as well step up to the mic. Water Services Manager, Matt Engel. So up first, wastewater report, the 2025 annual report. Can you tell us anything about this?
Thank you, Your Worship. So we do our annual report for the water treatment plant and the wastewater treatment plant yearly. This is just an overview of kind of what's happened over the last year, the different sampling and measurements that we take and what's been provided. And it also shows the guidelines that we have to follow and what we have to follow under our permit to operate at the plant. So for anyone that's curious about any of that information, by all means, you should be able to, once this is all approved by council, then it'll be on the webpage and at the library, printed off. And if you have any questions, obviously reach out to me. So
Excellent. Do we have a motion to approve the annual report? Councillor Elizer, second by Councillor Johnson. Questions, comments? Councillor Johnson?
I think in this report, Matt, you mentioned that there was water distribution on Highway 18. That's down by the wastewater treatment plant along the highway there where people can access water from the building. Is that along the highway? Where they can load up their tanks? Or
yeah, that would be on the water treatment plant report.
Yeah.
This is on the wastewater plant.
Right. And there's also one at the water treatment plant where you can dispense water?
No, so that's been moved to right by Highway 18
Oh, that's
and
been
11th
changed.
Avenue. Yeah.
Okay, relocated. Okay, that was my only question. Thank you.
Okay, excellent. Any other questions, comments out there? Seeing none, all in favor? Carried. Drinking water report 2025. Tell us about this one.
Thank you, Your Worship. Yeah, it's the same kind of idea. Goes through all the parameters that we have to meet and requirements by Water Security Agency and by the government. And the reports are all in there of what our parameters were, how many samples we took, if we had any negatives or bad samples come back, and just any little projects that we had going on around the plant to get things up to par. One of the big ones was, like Councillor Johnson mentioned, that we did move the bulk water fill station down to Highway 18 and 11th Avenue. It's better access for bigger trucks, and it's also a lot larger volume of water we're able to give out to them. So instead of these large tankers coming in and taking over an hour to fill, they can fill up in about 20 minutes now. So it's helped. I've had lots of positive comments about it, and it's helped out a lot of the companies that do things like filling pools or bringing large amounts of water out to their farms. So
Perfect. Yeah, and the RM raves, good rave reviews for that. So thank you for that. Do we have a motion to accept the drinking water 2025? Councillor Verova, Councillor Mouse, any questions, comments out there? Seeing none, all in favor? You're good till next year on that. Leisure Center hot tub rehab. So it looks like we wanted to rehab. Tell us about the rehabilitation of the hot tub.
thank you, Your Worship. So the plan was put in for this capital project to rehabilitate the hot tub at the Leisure Center, which would have included removal of all the tile and redoing it, because there's a few spots in the hot tub that have had to be repaired over the years, and kind of glue the cement back together, as I've been told. So we wanted to repair those, and there was some jets and stuff that needed to be replaced. Upon further looking into it, pretty much everything needed to be replaced when it came to the jets, the drains, all the components for plumbing involved. So that came in a little bit higher than what was originally proposed. And then we also found that a lot of the tiles wouldn't be in time to get it done during the shutdown. So we've looked at pushing this off till 2027, and then we can line up everything that we need for then and make sure that we have all the components and everything ready for getting the hot tub replaced.
Sounds good. Councilor Verba?
Thank you, Worship. Thank you, Matt. Is the hot tub still functioning and safe for everyone to still use for this season?
Yeah, absolutely it is. The only problem that we're seeing with the hot tub is just a couple of the jets don't spray as hard as some of the other ones, which will hopefully next year, once we replace the jets, that the problem will be fixed. So,
Councilor Johnson?
So on an item like this, I'm going to ask the question to Trudy, this financial question. We allocated the money in the budget 2026, so we're going to be purchasing parts this year in order to fix the hot tub next year. We're going to be using some of that funding then to acquire some tile or some jets or something. So we are going to be actually spending some of that money that we've allocated, right?
no, normally with capital projects, that's all part of the capital project itself. So if we're going to postpone until 2027, we probably wouldn't be purchasing that stuff this year unless we're purchasing, let's say, the jets. But even then, that's a small component compared to cutting out the cement, replacing those jets, and then re-cementing it and back to the way it was, and then retiling everything.
Oh, wow.
So we're also looking at different options of what we can do to help alleviate that big, large lump sum that was going to cost in different alternatives that we can get to fix it. And so instead of maybe tile, we find something else that we can line the inside of the tub with, the hot tub, or find different companies that can supply jets or do the project. It was done on we only got one response on it, so we're hoping that if we can reach out to different companies throughout Canada to see if there's other ways of basically rehabilitating the hot tub to bring it up to current standards.
So what I hear then, Matt, and then to Trudy, is probably we don't have enough money in that budget to do the project that we would like to do and make it to that type of repair. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, it is, but there was also the timeline on getting all the things that we needed to fix it to. The tile was pretty far away, and it wouldn't have gotten here in time to get the hot tub up and running before the end of shutdown. So that was a big factor in changing things.
I'll just mention that I was using the hot tub the last 3 times, and on Saturday past, there was like 30 of us in there. The jets, like you mentioned, there's 3 of them that are working in there, but I mean, for the most part, it was actually pretty good. So thank you, and hopefully it hangs on for a little bit longer.
Okay, perfect. Any other questions out there? We didn't have a motion or nothing yet, did we? We did it all. Didn't follow the rules, did we? Do we have a motion to accept the report as presented? Councilor Johnson, seconded by Councilor Elliott. No more questions, comments out there? Seeing none, all in favor? Thank you for that. Up next, the steam room. Sounds like it's kind of the same story.
Yeah, thank you, Your Worship. So, yeah, with the steam room, there's actually a wall that's attached to the family room, 1 bathroom that's having some issues of things that just kind of settled over time, and now the water is coming and drains towards the wall, which has started to cause problems with some of the tiles starting to come off the wall. So we've looked at doing a replacement, which we can't match up to those old tiles. So we're looking at replacing all the tiles in all of the steam room and then fixing that bench that's in the 1 bathroom in the family change room. And we're looking at making sure that there's not going to be any structural issues with that wall as well. So that's the whole purpose of tearing all the tiles off and checking to make sure that there's no issues with that syndicate wall. So we did send it out for tender. The tender came back and it was not compliant with our specifications with a couple of issues. So we refused the 1 tender, and then we went into negotiations through a contract with that same contractor, reducing our surety down from 50 down to 30% to make it a little more manageable on a smaller project like that, and then making sure that the requirements for the timeline of being able to complete it for the pool shutdown, with the same problems of being able to get tile in time, but they were able to get the different style of tile for that, and able to get it about a week after the shutdown. So it should be completed within a week or 2 after the shutdown, and hopefully back open for the public after that.
Okay, sounds good. Do we have a motion to accept this report? Councilor Johnson, Councilor Leeser. Any more questions, comments out there?
I was also using the hot spa, and it is working. There's a nice jet stream of heat there, so it's usable right now, but according to Matt, we got to fix that wall and the tile, and that's just another little bit of a repair, but it's great. Thank you.
Excellent. No more questions, comments out there? Seeing none, all in favor? Perfect. Thank you for coming in tonight, Matt. Richard, you're up next. Land Development Manager, Métis Nation. What are we looking here? They have some housing projects for the Métis Nation of Saskatchewan. And long story short, they're looking for a letter of support. I'm guessing just to share with their Métis Nation of Saskatchewan. This would be the local, looking for a letter of support. Do we have a motion? Councillor Verova?
Thank you, Worship. I actually think, as a city council rep on the Economic Development Board, that this would also be something that I think if we asked our community development officer to draft a letter from the Economic Board as well.
Okay.
I'd like to make a motion in two parts. One, that the city council also writes a letter to support this, but also that we ask the community economic development officer to also draft a letter, so that two letters are coming from the city, both supporting this project, that I think will be very good.
Share the incentives at the same time. So.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, do we have a seconder? That was Councillor Dubowski. Any other questions, comments out there? Seeing none? All in favor? Carried. Howard Street lease. Purchase proposal. Take us through this one, please, Richard.
Thank you, Your Worship and Council. Howard Street, there's a parcel there. It's more or less around 40 acres. It's owned by the city. And we've leased out small portions of it historically. What's happened, and this was in front of council in the middle of last year, and it was two different businesses wanting to lease a portion of it. It's changed now a little bit, so I'm bringing it forward again. The one landowner is looking at actually purchasing and incorporating about an acre of land from our property into theirs to make their property a little larger. And the other one is looking for a lease on about 2 acres for aggregate pile, their gravel basically. And I hopefully the map is showing okay on your laptops there.
Yep.
So you can see what the area is. There's a rectangle there. That would be subdivided off our property if this was approved, and then added into the lot to the north. And then the square area there with the number 2 would be the area for the aggregate pile. And then we'd, talking to city administration, there's still sufficient land there for use for that the city may have, whether it be like for fire department training, what have you. We went and referred this matter to our contractor Colliers, and that's where the prices for the leaseholding and for property sale was derived. And so if council's in favor of this as a concept, the next step would be to enter into a lease agreement for the gravel stockpile and also into a preliminary sale agreement, followed by a subdivision to do that parcel adjustment. While I was looking at this, and I mentioned this in my report, the west side of that parcel has got a drainage ditch that goes down to the rail line, and then goes underneath the rail line. It drains into a stormwater pond that's in the RM, but it's owned by the city. But that connects going all the way north up to that pond that is just to the east of the college. And so I ran the titles and some of the agreements that are in that area. And so there's like a 10-meter drainage easement on one property, and then it's 5 meters on another property and what have you. My thinking is, since we're going to have a surveyor out there anyways, if this is approved, that we clean up some of that stuff and actually put a drainage utility right away. It's pretty important to have that there. That's part of the same drainage area, a basin that's north of the high school. opposite there, so it's pretty important.
Some improvements for sure. Do we have a motion to accept? Councilor Leeser, seconded by Councilor Mouse. Any other questions? Councilor Johnson?
Mayor Cernick, and to the Land Development Officer, I was out there today, I was taking a look at this property, actually from Howard Street going west, encompassing number 2. Man, there is a lot of junk laying around out there. And I don't know whose it all is, it belongs to, but if it's on our property and we're renting it out, that's great to a company. But when they leave, they have to clean it up. This number 2 that we're talking about, that's boxed and maybe for aggregate, that property right now sits with water on it. There's actual water sitting on it. It's got nowhere to go. But it looks like it wants to drain to where you're mentioning because of that. That being said, if we're putting aggregate on it, hopefully some of that aggregate doesn't get into those channels that we want to make and form into diking them off and preventing the water flow. That's my only concern. It'd have to be maintained open because it's easy in that location to have soils spool into those drainage ditches or culverts, and the next thing they're all blocked and the water doesn't go anywhere. So that's my only concern if we're going to go through this transaction here, folks, is that, and that would have to be written into that agreement to keep them open. Thank you.
Richard?
Thank you, Your Worship. Some of the materials that is stored on there has been there for multiple decades. And the city is in an effort here now to clean it up. Anything that's salvageable is going to be hauled away for metal recycling. So we actually might make some money on that. And then what's left is going to probably be city crews cleaning up and hauling it to a landfill. Thanks.
Mayor Cernick, I don't know who left all that material there. I got it on my phone, and I'll tell you, that's going to be a big effort for the city to take on. Jeff, I encourage you to go out there and take a look, my friend.
Yeah, we have Barlow out there, we're trying to find ways, we have a plan.
Holy smokes, that is a lot of stuff, and it's big, heavy stuff. It's tanks. You're going to need semis and cranes, and Tony, you know what I'm talking about, Mayor
Oh, yeah,
Cernick.
but there's gold in that scrap.
Oh, I know there's gold in that iron. That's what I was thinking today too, but my, oh my, whoever left that stuff there, and if we're responsible for cleaning it up, then I would say let's try to find the owner of that stuff and see if he's going to help us pay for some of that cost. That's going to be a huge cost, guys. Thank you. That's all my information that I want to share with you.
Okay.
It's a big mess out there.
I forget where we're at. Did we have a motion and a seconder? Yeah, we did, didn't we not? Yes. Any more questions, comments out there? So, all in favor? Sold. Up next, thank you, Richard. Introduction of bylaws. We need a motion to send this to all 3 readings first, correct? No. We'll just start here, okay? So, introduction of bylaws. So, before we get, I'll just get going here. Sorry to interrupt you guys. I should. Can you just run us through why we got to go through all 3 readings quick, please, Treasurer?
Yeah, thank you, Your Worship. The city tax assessor is asking council to extend the time to complete the 2026 assessment roll. SAM has identified that their commercial land model does not meet the minimum sales requirement. Thus, SAM has stated that they need more time to properly update the assessment roll values.
SAM is the gift that just keeps giving. Under introduction of bylaws, we have bylaw 2026-2109 to provide for the extension of the assessment roll within the city of Estevan, asking for first reading. And I have a motion from council on this. Councilor Leeser, seconded by Councilor Verova. Can't do questions, comments, all in favor? Hey, under the same bylaw, we are looking for second reading. Can we have a motion for second reading? Councillor Elliott, Councillor Veroba. We can do questions and comments on this one. No? Any questions, comments out there? Councillor Veroba?
Thank you, Worship. I was just going to mention, I believe 4 years ago, this also happened again, where they just needed an extension. So sometimes I just think they have so much on their plate in an assessment year that they just need this extra time, so.
You're very kind for that.
Yeah, I know. I was just trying to play good cop, bad cop.
Any other questions, comments, City Clerk?
I just need the name for the seconder for this particular item.
Oh, is it Councillor Veroba? I can't remember who was.
Elliott.
Okay, we're good there. So all in favor? Okay, now I need, can I have a motion that referral of bylaw 2026-2109, the council and committee for the study to be waived? I have a motion for that. Councillor Leeser, seconded by Councillor Elliott. Questions, comments on that? Seeing none, all in favor? All right, we are up to third reading. And I have a motion for third reading of this bylaw. Councillor Elliott, Councillor Johnson, any questions, comments? City Clerk?
It's a motion for this bylaw to be given 3 readings at this meeting, Your Worship.
Okay, sorry, yes. Oh, I missed that. Sorry, so a motion just to give third reading at this. Councillor Johnson, Councillor Elliott, questions, comments? All in favor? Now, we're at third reading. Councillor Elliott, Councillor Johnson, any other questions, comments? Seeing none, all in favor? Thank you for that. All right, inquiries, Councillor Veroba.
Thank you, Worship. I just had one inquiry this time. Basically, pickleball starting up again, and I did. Councillor Mouse, you're at that age where I think you should start looking into pickleball. So
I'm too old for that.
I'm at that age too. So pickleball is up and coming, and they have been. Last year we had the courts, and there was a lot of controversy, but there was also a lot of friendships made as well by the end of the season, and they were respectful of each other and their times. But one of the people from pickleball reached out to me. I had a second one today, which I did not have time to get back to, but I will tomorrow. And I think what they're looking for is if there is a way to have actual set times and days of the week where pickleball would happen. Now, I don't know how we would ever organize that in a area that is open to the public, usually 24/7 type thing. I think, not that we have a lot of people out there all the time, but we have some people who enjoy coming out with their families, and that was one of the concerns I'd heard last year, was that some people didn't want to see it, and yet I feel like if we had some sort of set times, we may alleviate some of the concerns other people have, because then they would know there's no sense going down on a Tuesday from 5 to 8 because that's pickleball. But they would also know that they could access it Monday, Wednesday, and Friday because there is no pickleball. So then I feel like we might be able to alleviate some of that as well. So I just not sure if they have, I think that, well, actually I know they have reached out to Shannon. I just wasn't sure if the city manager or the mayor had heard about it yet, but that is something. Yeah. So just a heads up that that's something that they'll be looking at, and maybe we need some community feedback as well so that we take into consideration all of the user groups. But like I said, by the end of last year, I heard that there was kids going out to play hockey, and the pickleball people were there, so the kids just utilized another portion of it. And then at the end of it, they all put everybody's stuff back, so they were working together. And I think that's part of being a community, is finding a way that we can all work together, so that Councillor Mouse and myself can also join pickleball, but we can also play ball hockey some days too.
Okay, thank you for that. Councillor Mouse?
Yeah, no, I've got only just one thing is congratulations to Craig Bird for receiving the Saskatchewan Volunteer Medal for all his work in the community and with the military museum he set up. And then also last week, 10 days ago, I think, a little late, but congratulations to the Phillips family from Torquay for winning Farm Family of the Year. And that was presented at the chamber, at a chamber supper 10 days ago, I think. No, it was quite a while ago. And we'll see you on the pickleball court.
No, thank you for that. Yeah, all sorts of good things going on. Councillor Elliott? Nothing. City Treasurer? Councillor Dubowski?
Yes, Your Worship. Actually, going back to the Service Valley Museum minutes, you kind of kicked on the turbos and went past that one. There's actually something I did want to mention about that, which is the old business, the locomotive and mining equipment update. That's been going for quite a while, I understand, with trying to refurbish all of their equipment in front of the museum. And so the update is that quotes have been updated and received, and it's all good to go for refurbishing the locomotive this year when it warms up, and hopefully maybe by the end of the year it'll start looking all shiny and nice.
Excellent.
So, yeah.
Good news, because I know they were even talking about trying to make that like where you could go on and tour it or whatever, walk. I don't know what the words I'm looking for, but
Yeah, I probably don't think that's the way it's gonna go, but
so close.
yeah, there's just a lot of work to do with it, so I don't know if it'll get that far, but at least it'll be shiny and clean.
We'll start with the paint for sure. Thank you for that. Councillor Johnson?
Yes, Mayor Cernick, I got 3 mentions here this evening, and one I think that we all need to consider, and hats off to the Orpheum Theatre for 112 years of business in the Estevan community. It's been a long-standing business that's been in Estevan, and I'd like to thank the Dohertys for contributing to all their hard work at making this business still viable in our community. I noticed that on Discover Estevan today, and I couldn't but not mention it this evening, that it's 112 years. That's a lot of time, and for our downtown business court, that speaks volumes. So I'd like to hats off, thank them for their business, their hard work, and everything else they've done. Another mention I'd like to talk about this evening is it's springtime, and there's going to be a lot of bikes out in the community, and I'm not too sure, Jeff, help me out here, if we do sell bike licenses still, cat and dog licenses still, and that at the Estevan Police Station, that's still available. But
Downstairs, sir.
oh, downstairs, they sell that. Okay, I was thinking about my mic. But anyway, if you do have a brand new bike, and if you do really want to keep it around, make sure you buy a lock for it and lock it up. Last year we seen so many bikes around the community that were strewn around the community, all busted up and thrown in boulevards or in the valley, and it was a real chore for our Estevan police to keep up on all the bikes that were taken and misused and broken up in the community. And so anybody that has a bike, and anybody that buys a bike for their son or their daughter, just make sure that you think about putting a license on it and putting a lock on it and making sure that they have a good place to lock it up so it doesn't get taken and misused or misplaced in the community. So I just like to pass that along. My last one is has to do with, I'm going to call this a land development subdivision referral letter that came out in the community, and I don't know how many on council are aware of it, but I kind of got aware of it by a person that lives over on Heritage Boulevard, but I don't know enough about it. But as an inquiry and as maybe a piece of information, I think maybe we should be included in these letters when they come out, city manager, so that if some resident of the community wants to know what's going in, what's happening, do you know anything about this? I'm not caught off guard or embarrassed. There it is. So I'd like to pass it along. I'd like us to call it an inquiry, but put it in policy that we at least are made aware of it.
Yeah, thank you, Councillor Johnson. So our standard practice is that when there's a subdivision or zoning application, it goes out to the surrounding neighborhoods. That's within our policies and our bylaws. We then have community feedback to bring back to council when it's presented for approval or denial or questions. But I can look at the current policy and bring that towards council so that we have a motion to change that and not just something out of inquiry. So we'll look at bringing that forward.
Thank you, City Manager, and thank you, Mayor Cernick, for that little bit of time.
Perfect, thank you. Any idea what kind of bylaw that would be under, you know?
It'll be in one of our policies for land development, so we'll take a look at it.
Okay, sounds good. Councillor Leeser.
Thank you, Your Worship. Just a reminder to the community that we are looking at all of the parks across Estevan and that we're asking for the community to take a few minutes and provide feedback about which parks they use, what features they use within those parks, or what they feel is missing in their area and they'd like to see incorporated into our planning moving forward. That survey is available online. It takes less than 10 minutes to complete, but it does close April the 12th.
Perfect, thank you for that. City Manager?
Nothing to add, Your Worship.
City Clerk?
Nothing, Your Worship.
No. Councillor Bowes?
Thank you, Your Worship. Just one more thing. This week in the newspaper, and maybe a lot of other people may have not have seen it, Rhonda from the fire department has heard about people getting phone calls asking for donations to the fire department. And if anyone receives a phone call from the fire department for donations, this is a scam. Rhonda has mentioned it in the newspaper, so don't react to it, hang up on them. It's not the fire department asking for money, it's a scam.
Okay, thanks for that. So yeah, I guess we're grateful to the federal and provincial governments for injecting $900,000 of investment into nuclear coming up into the future here. So they injected $900,000 today with some announcements. What do we have? The strippers hockey weekend coming up this weekend. So you can go watch some of the best hockey you'll ever watch. So that'll be going all weekend, and the weekend after that we have Wildlife Federation, we have the Legion happening, Legion's 100th anniversary I mentioned before, all kinds of things happening, so get out in the community and have fun. Hopefully Mother Nature takes care of that, and we have a motion to move into committee. Councillor Elliott, Councillor Dabowski, questions, comments, seeing none, all in favor? We're in committee. Thank you.
If you'd like to share your feedback on the program you just watched, contact us today